What is macaroni pie?
If you ask any Barbadian, they'll tell you that one of their favorite dishes is macaroni pie.
So it's time. Grab your apron, sharpen your knives, and get ready to get cooking with me right here on What's Cooking.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Tasty Tom, Kivo Pepper, and Susie Herbal Center.
Hello, and welcome to yet another wonderful episode of Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. My name is Nanatufu Obuate.
My name is Philip Nilate. On a Friday, we'll let it loose. We try and set the tone down, trying to work around for the weekend. But certainly, you're going to enjoy the package we have for you here on Channel 1 TV, Breakfast Daily on this Friday.
All right, as Philip put it, it's a full package, fully detailed, but let's invite the Queen to join us. Jifra Kadia is here. Hello, darling. You look beautiful as always.
Hi, Philip.
Hi, Jifra.
How are you?
I'm doing good. And you?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm well. I could be better, but I'm well. But I mean, I'm okay because today is a Friday.
And the weather is cozy.
Oh my,
Yeah.
say that again. Tomorrow is a
beautiful
Saturday.
weather.
Weekend is here, huh?
The weekend is here, and you know I love weekends, right? Yeah.
I also love weekends.
Weekends are good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Except I don't like Mondays.
yeah.
Well, I'm not sure anybody likes
No, the
it.
thing about Mondays is even if Monday was an extension of the weekend, right? Your Tuesday will begin to
There's
feel
still
like
going
a
to be
Monday.
the start of the week.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
so
working day. So.
I mean, let's take it as it is, one
But
day at a
normally, if you
time.
start on Tuesday, you know, the
gives you-
Monday blues
It's
is
gone.
off.
So you have
Then
just
you know
focus
that you know how to focus
you're
on
only going
Tuesday.
to transfer it onto Tuesday.
Onto Tuesday.
Trust me.
Well,
I mean, it's human nature, right?
Yeah, right.
You're only going to push it. You're going to keep pushing it. And then what? So what? You want the whole entire week for rest?
Well, I don't know. There could be a weekend and something within the weekday.
Nah.
Oh.
You know, there was a time I
It won't
asked
work.
that, why don't we have just 2 or 3 days as a weekday and then the rest of the day as a week? I know, don't look at me
Even
like
God
that.
himself. He
Rest-
worked 6 days and
and
rested
rest
1 day.
7 days.
You want to rest how many days? Anyways, guys,
Anyway, right.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's always an absolute pleasure coming your way with the best breakfast in town. It's a full package, fully detailed. You're going to have your entertainment, your education, your information. Just name it, all right? It's a full platter, and it's our absolute pleasure to be able to come here and to serve you this and more. Okay, it's Friday. We're going to get into the news review real quick, bring you some highlights, headlines as well. But it rained this dawn.
Exactly.
At exactly 2:07, 7 minutes after 2, that's when the rain
That means you were
started.
sleeping.
Nana, were you awake?
I was still up. I had some work to do, so I was still up.
okay.
I see.
I was working. So when the rain started, the first, drop of rain that hit my roof, I checked the time.
Oh, wow.
And I noticed that it was 2:07. Instantly, my heart went out
Okay.
to the street children, to the homeless,
Yeah.
to the less privileged, to the underprivileged. And I was like, Father, show yourself strong. Intervene in their situations.
Because we don't want
you
to
see,
experience any flood again,
Exactly.
especially
And it was
when
very
now
windy
government
too.
is battling with sucking people from
Yeah.
the raptures. Like this
Yes.
morning, we understand the
They're
Greater
going to
Accra
Tema
Regional
and the Sakumo.
Minister is going to take some action this
But
morning
I
as well.
think my worry or my pain more has to do with those sleeping under the bridges at Circle, those sleeping in front of people's shops. when it rains at dawn like that, what do they do? And you see, that's why sometimes we call on you guys to help us to be able to be a blessing unto others. And that's one thing we're preparing to do, okay? This Easter, as has become traditional of us, we're going to visit some orphanages in the country, and we want to be a blessing to them. We ask that you join us so that we can be able to do this together. We want to feed, maintain, and support, and we've put together what we call the Easter Orphan Project. We do it every year, okay? We'd like for you to join us. Please support us, help us to be able to put a smile on the face of an orphan out there. If you want to support us via Momo, the number is 0550-900-006. 0550-900-006. If your donation is in kind, you can bring bags of rice, cartons of milk, water, sugar, Milo, just name it, clothes, okay? But these clothes should be, appreciable enough. And let's help books, just stationery, so that we can be able to put smiles on the faces of these little ones. If you want to do a donation in kind, please bring it to City FM office at Adabraka, just behind the Adabraka police station, okay? And then we'll acknowledge you appropriately. If you listen to This Is Your Day on 97.3 City FM, you hear that some people have begun donating already, and we're saying thank you to them on air. So please, let us hear from you. Send us something so that together we can be able to help the orphans out there.
Right. Now, one thing I like about the Easter Orphan Project is the fact that sometimes when you look at your life, or when you try to reminisce on how far God has brought you, looking at where you started from and where you are currently in life, sometimes you don't appreciate it enough.
Exactly.
You're always wanting more. You're like, what can I do? When can I do this? What do I do to get this and that and that? But you forget that, look, there's somebody somewhere whose situation is even worse than yours. And when you hear people's stories, then you sit down and say, thank you, Jesus, because indeed your story is better than someone's. So this is just a call to say thank you, God. That's your way of, showing appreciation to God for whatever He has done to in your life, really. And then just lend a hand and then donate something small. It could be anything at all, as Nana rightly said. So send in your widow's mite, and then let's put smiles on the children's faces.
So as you are enjoying at home, eating the chicken, the rice, wearing the good clothing, sitting in the AC vehicle, putting on good perfumes and all that, you may want to think about that unprivileged individual in the society. And that is what Channel One TV and City FM, we are hoping to go out there to at least deal with these people, give them a shoulder to put their heads on, and also put smiles on their faces. And this is happening on Easter Monday. So you shouldn't hesitate to join us here on Channel One TV at Tesano, and also City FM at Adabraka, where you can donate in cash, in kind, and also with items as well.
True. We beg of you to expedite the donations, okay? Because Easter Monday is just around the corner. It's on the 21st of April. Forgive us for not coming to press early with this, but we beg of you, if it is within your resources and your ability and your reach to support us, please do, and let's be fast about it. We beg you, so that we can properly coordinate the entire project, and then we can all go there together on Monday, the 21st of April 2025, to support these orphanages. Once again, the mobile money number is 0550-900-006, or you can bring your donations to the City FM office at Adabraka, just behind the Adabraka police station. And we will be grateful. The kids will be grateful. Those who take care of the kids will be grateful, and you shall be duly acknowledged. I don't know if you're a teacher, but as they say about teachers, your reward will be in. All right. Thank you so much in advance, and we're hoping to hear from you and to see you support us do this together. All right. So while we are still in the month of April, we're praying for ourselves, for our country, for our businesses, our families, our children, you name it. I mean, the quest is to uplift individuals, to give hope to the hopeless, and of course, to renew and restore, maintain and sustain the faith in our Maker God. Okay, all this is a prelude to the major one, which happens on 1st May. That's the family consecration service. Yeah, so we call this the Seasons of Prayer. It happens every weekday in the month of April from the 1st to the 30th of April 2025.
Right, and the Seasons of Prayer, and we have the Midnight Cry, which happens between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. And also, this is your day between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. That's if you happen to miss the Midnight Cry. And also, we have the Prayer Encounter that's happening at between 12 p.m. at noon to 1 p.m. And that's going to be happening on the City FM Facebook Live. So, I mean, really, if you miss the midnight or the dawn one, you have another opportunity to join in the afternoon. That's mostly during lunchtime in the office. So you can just plug in your earpiece or your earbuds and then just pray silently, or just excuse yourself to go to the washroom, or wherever convenient for you to join within this prayer season. Please do that, because it's very important that sometimes we submit ourselves and then put everything we are doing as a people into the hands of God, for Him to lead us and then show us the way. And of course, we'll crown it all in the month of May with a family consecration.
Yep, it's happening on May 1, 2025. Families gather and pray together as a unit. Remember, the family that prays together
always stays together.
Stays together.
All right. Let's get into our business of today. Bring you some of the headlines that have made it to the front pages of the various dailies, and then we can go onto the web portals online and bring you some news headlines as well. I'll start off with the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. It says circular economy projects gets a boost. SMEs allocated $4.35 million for sustainable plastic waste management. Comes with a picture of Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. Government explores a cheaper power option for VALCO. Okay, this is Amako Fibua speaking there. No more NHIS statutory payments delays. That's attributed to a deputy finance minister. RECSEC pulls down illegal structures at Weija and Dansoman Ramsar site. RECSEC pulls down illegal structures at Weija, Dansoman Ramsar sites. If you jump to the back page, it says Gold Coast Refinery offers government 15% carried interest. Gold Coast Refinery offers government 15% carried interest. And this one says enforce textile tax stamp registration laws, ICU. That's the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union speaking there. That's the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Let me take you to the Chronicle. The Chronicle says Educhum to contest NPP presidential primary. This is a question being asked by the paper. Educhum to contest NPP presidential primary donates 100,000 Ghana cedis, 200 bags of cement to rebuild Edum market. Okay. Journalist in court over alleged 1.7 million Ghana cedis extortion charge. Oh boy. Journalist in court over alleged 1.7 million Ghana cedis extortion charge. Hey. Okay, we'll find out which journalist this is. Health benefits of guava fruit and leaves. Okay, that's some health information for you on the front page of the Chronicle. And then you have King Zuba, confirmed mayor of Kumasi. King Zuba, confirmed mayor of Kumasi. His actual name is Richard Ofori Ajimai Buadi. I think he served as Obuasi MCE at a point, and now he's been confirmed the mayor of Kumasi. Yeah, Chronicle is reporting on that. Now, the new publisher this morning says, Arnaud Dompré wins court case challenging his electoral victory. And then you have NDC Burns party office in Mampong. This is Asante Mampong. NDC Burns party office in Mampong. We're told that calm has been restored. Police has been deployed to the area. And so the place is quiet and calm now. This chaos, we understand, is attributed to the president's nomination for MMDC in the area. And some youth groups of the party are not happy with their nomination. They would have preferred a different person. And so they went on rampage and destroyed some property belonging to the party in the constituency. All right. Dr. Abdul Hamid honored for leading ARDA to new heights. Dr. Abdul Hamid honored for leading ARDA to new heights. Let's check out the Herald newspaper this morning. The Herald says several Oforiatta family members named in TDC land grab. Several Oforiatta family members named in TDC land grab. Interesting times. Second DMP files a 10 million Ghana cedi lawsuit over 350 million US dollar cocaine link, but spares John and Team Fojo. Second DMP files 10 million Ghana cedi lawsuit over 350 million US dollar cocaine link, but spares John and Team Fojo. Minority leader pleaded with NIB to suspend in Team Fojo's arrest. Vanderpoy reviews. That's the former member of parliament for Dodo Diodio, former local government minister, former sports minister. He was here yesterday, spoke on the news review segment on Breakfast Daily, and he did mention that the attempted arrest of the Asin South MP in his home by national security operatives was called off because the minority leader, Alexander Apenyo-Markin, pleaded that he would personally present the MP to the security operatives at 10 a.m. That's yesterday. We'll be getting some details to that to find out if indeed the MP did show up at the offices of the security agency and what transpired thereafter. But other stories on the front page also say Ayeboafo refutes cash for contract claim in GBC boss reappointment. Says nationwide tour was legitimate governance exercise. Ayeboafo refutes cash for contract claim in GBC boss's reappointment. Says nationwide tour was legitimate governance exercise. Then there's a yet to be reported on story that says coming up, Kevin Ochery arrested. Coming up, Kevin Ochery arrested. That's the front page of the Herald newspaper. I'll jump to the News Center. The front page of the News Center says TUC vows to resist ECG privatization. TUC vows to resist ECG privatization. Bawumia decries security intimidation and harassment. We understand that Dr. Bawumia visited the Reverend John in Team Fojo after that episode with the security operatives, and this is what the News Center is reporting from that incident. It says Bawumia decries security intimidation and harassment. MTN unveils year-long strategy to transform SMEs, also here on the front page. BOG, CEOs of banks brainstorm over 100 basis points hike in policy rates. That's on the economic front. Says BOG, CEOs of banks brainstorm over 100 basis points hike in policy rates. NDC doubles down on pledge to quickly end double track. NDC doubles down on pledge to quickly end double track. The minister has been meeting the Conference of Heads of Assisted Second Cycle Schools, and this is one of the issues that came up, the double track system under the Free SHS program. Initially, it was the plan was to quickly end the double track system and, of course, phase it back into a single track where we'll have all students going to school at and around the same time. But now we're being told by the Minister in charge of Education, Haruna Idrisu, that this phasing out is expected to end by 2027 and not as quickly as initially anticipated. We'll be following this keenly to bring you some details regarding this same matter. All right, that's it for the front page of the News Center. What's the custodian saying this morning? Custodian says, stop using security agents to harass opponents. Bawumia minority tell Mahama. Speaker Bagbin petitioned. Okay. All this is in attribution to the Reverend Intim Fojo and the suspicious flight saga and allegations of money laundering and drug trafficking. Okay. High Court dismisses election petition against Ano Dompre. High Court dismisses election petition against Ano Dompre. Reality has exposed NDC on economy. This is attributed to Gideon Buako. CDM calls for unified response to Trump's 10% tariff on Ghanaian exports. That's the front page of the Custodian. Let's get into the Daily Guide. Front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. Educhum gives a Doomfire victims 100,000 Ghana cedis and bags of cement. Educhum gives a Doomfire victims 100,000 Ghana cedis, bags of cement. Ayariga police commanders' houses set ablaze in Boko. Quite disturbing. The Member of Parliament has issued a statement condemning the violence in the area, the clash between the police and some youth, and called for calm and assures of his confidence in the mediation efforts being led by the Santehene Otumfo Seitu II. All right, let's look at other stories on the front page of the Daily Guide. This one says, rein in your security operatives. Bawumia tells Mahama. This will follow the visit to Reverend Intim Fojo during his episode or after his episode with the security operatives. And then CJ removal petitions pop up. CJ removal petitions pop up. This should be an interesting read. It looks as though the Daily Guide will be giving us some details regarding the petition or the 3 petitions to have the Chief Justice removed. We know that constitutional process is currently underway, where the President, upon consultation with the Council of State, will look into these petitions, establish a prima facie case against the CJ, and then a committee will be set to establish same and to prosecute same. The CJ had requested the petition to be able to respond. Subsequently, she has responded, and so we are waiting to see what will happen. Another leg of it is that we know that the Otafu Member of Parliament, Vincent Akowasafua, was seeking an injunction at the Supreme Court to stop the President from proceeding with this procedure. The Supreme Court has adjourned this injunction application case indefinitely. All right, so we'll be following up on that as well to bring you some details. The Informer newspaper this morning is very heavy on encroachment, and it says Ramsar site encroachment, Chinese company defies president's order. Ramsar site encroachment, Chinese company defies president's order. Yesterday, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu led the Regional Security Council and some security operatives to the various sites, including Dansoman and the Wager area, where the president had ordered that some demolition or some clearing of the area be done to allow free flow of water even as we anticipate the onset of the rains. And it came out that when they visited the site yesterday, the place had not yet been cleared, in clear defiance of the president's order. And that's what the Informer newspaper is reporting this morning. Now, questionable cocaine aircraft saga. Minority bare teeth at government over alleged intimidation. We are already on a path to failure. Arocha Ghana criticizes Galamsey fight. Okada riders warn Mahama over age restriction. And then you have Bando MCE promises action. Okay, you can get the details here in the Informer newspaper. The Ghanaian publisher this morning says Bawumia slams Mahama over NIB raids. Bawumia slams Mahama over NIB raids. Court upholds Anodom Press victory. 25,000 Ghana cedi cost awarded against a petitioner. Reasons petitioners want the CJ removed. Okay, so details also there in the Ghanaian publisher. The Inquisitor says frivolous cocaine and money laundering claims. GACL shames Osofo Maku. Oh, Charlie. We've seen some paper call him Osofo Thunder. Another paper is calling him Osofo Maku, and they've put his picture there. Jeez. Frivolous cocaine and money laundering claims. GACL shames Osofo Maku. Finance Ministry sets desk to enforce PFM Act. Finance Ministry sets desk to enforce PFM Act. Government to pilot 1 million coders program on April 16. Government to pilot 1 million coders program on April 16. Bolgatanga Airport construction site inspected. Bolgatanga Airport construction site inspected. It comes with a picture of the managing director of the GACL, that's the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Ivona Nana Efriye. Let me wrap it up with the Catholic Standard, one of the oldest newspapers in the country, in the world at least. The world's oldest Catholic bishop celebrates 103 years. That's what it's leading with. Then you have Bishop Etuahene here speaking, and he says, put measures in place to curtail drug abuse. Put measures in place to curtail drug abuse. We all know the disturbing phenomenon regarding opioid consumption and its abuse and what it is doing to the youth of this country. And you have Bishop Etuahene, the Bishop of Goso, speaking here, and he says put measures in place to curtail drug abuse. Now, prison feeding grant of 1 cedi 80 pesos daily, an affront to human rights. Prison feeding grant of 1 cedi 80 pesos daily, an affront to human rights. Law against misinformation, disinformation to be enacted in Ghana. There's an editorial that says the Catholic Church in Ghana extensively present but not visible enough. Quite an interesting one. Catholic University launches fund for financial sustainability. That's the front page of the Catholic Standard newspaper. Let me take you online real quick. Let's check out some of the stories on channel1news.com. Okay, Channel 1 is leading with the ECG story, and it says ECG's billing system collapsed under customer load. This is attributed to the former managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana. ECG's billing system collapsed under customer load. Former MD speaking there. Ayariga, attacks won't distract me from pursuing peace in Boko. Attacks won't distract me from pursuing peace in Boko. This is the Member of Parliament for the area and the leader of government business in Parliament speaking there, Mahama Ayariga. Suspicious flights in Team Forge's cooperation would have uncovered the truth. This is attributed to the Member of Parliament for Sekendi. He was on the Channel 1 newsroom last night speaking with Eno Safo. That's Blay Nyameke Ama there, saying that in Team Forge's cooperation would have uncovered truth. We are against ECG privatization. That's the Trades Union Congress speaking. We are against ECG privatization. Unresolved murders in Ashanti region raise public safety and justice concerns. Unresolved murders in Ashanti region raise public safety and justice concerns. Anodompre, NDC rejects court ruling, vows to appeal. We know that the High Court in Koforidua yesterday upheld the MP's victory in the 2024 elections and even awarded some 25,000 Ghana cedis cost against the petitioners. All right, let's check out Galamsey. And this one says, Galamsey fight not getting any better. It's attributed to Darrell Bosu of Arocha, Ghana. Galamsey fight not getting any better. Darrell Bosu speaking there. Western Regional Minister leads Galamsey Soup to arrest 3. Western Regional Minister leads Galamsey Soup to arrest 3. Sekendi MP sues Jospon Group of companies and others over $350 million cocaine allegation. Sekendi MP sues Jospon Group of companies and others over $350 million cocaine allegation. In Asante Mampong, angry NDC youth burned party property over MCE nomination. Then you have Kantamanto traders strike over OR Foundation's alleged attack on their trade. Kantamanto traders strike over OR Foundation's alleged attack on their trade. Then you have the Duchum story here that says Duchum donates 100,000 Ghana cedis, 500 bags of cement to a doomed fire victims. Will make Ghana ungovernable if Intim Fojo is arrested. That's Salam Mustafa, the NPP's youth organizer, speaking. I don't know how you intend to make the country ungovernable, and I don't know in what capacity you will be doing that, but the laws of the country are there. So let's see you make an attempt, and let's see how the law applies to such matters. We don't know what your strategy for making the country ungovernable will be, but we'll see what the law and its response to same will also be. All right, let me take you to citynewsroom.com. That says, Boko Ayariga condemns violence, backs Otumfuo's peace efforts. In Boko, Ayariga condemns violence and backs Otumfuo's peace efforts. We know that there was an attempt to burn down his house in Boko, and then there was also an attempt to burn down the police commander's residence as well. The education minister has been speaking, and he says, restore discipline in senior high schools. Education minister to Ghana Education Service. TUC to government, punish those behind ECG container scandal. And then when you go on the website, there are a number of stories there that you can get details on. All righty. This morning, we understand that the Greater Accra Regional Minister is leading a team of security operatives and the Regional Security Council, the RECSEC, to Tema, where the Sakumo Ramsar sites and the Tema Ramsar sites, to make some demolition of structures on waterways and, of course, structures impeding the path of the water, and, of course, illegally situated structures on the Ramsar site. We'll be bringing you details. Our cameras will be there, and so we'll bring you details of that exercise. Hopefully, as the rains come, the place will be rid of some of these structures, and then we do not experience the type of flooding that we have been experiencing over the years. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In a fast-growing urban environment like Accra, safety is as important as the air that we breathe. Hear the real stories from those who now feel safe like never before with Response One.
One night, I heard the glass shattering. Armed robbers had broken in. Before I could react, the alarm blared and the lights flashed, and Response One was already on their way. Within minutes, the security was at my door and the armed robbers had fled. I never want to be that scared again. And now I know with Response One, I never will.
Don't wait for tragedy to strike. Protect your home with Response One's monitored alarm system and our theft protection guarantee. Immediate response, real protection. Response One, stay connected, stay protected.
Poverty makes you do what you otherwise would not do. Wealth makes you live the way you wish to live. But revenge cancels the lines between poverty and riches.
It's either you're saying something progressive, or I'll just tell your wife that I'm carrying your child.
Where is my father? Now that he's coming closer to the community, my people forget your own plans, so I go figure my own.
Welcome back from that break. You're still live on Breakfast Daily right here on Channel One Television, and this morning is our Friday edition. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by joining our socials at Channel One TVGH. Leave your thoughts and your comments in the comment section down below. We'd love to engage with you in the comment section. Alternatively, you can send us a WhatsApp message on the WhatsApp number 02044470033. We'll be having some interesting conversations right here this morning on the show. We'll be coming to a community near you, so you may want to engage with us so that when the time is right and we are in your community, get the chance to also share your thoughts with us. This morning we are taking you to the Opa Basic School, which is situated in Sapeman, where a school building's roof has been taken off due to a rainstorm. There's a report filed by our colleague Elizabeth Kabuki Okansi. Let's take a look at the report, and when we come back, we'll get speaking to the right authorities to find answers to this.
Strong winds and heavy rains lasting less than 30 minutes tore off the roof of Opa MA Basic School 1, leaving furniture and teaching materials exposed to the elements. The incident, which occurred around 6 p.m., has significantly disrupted teaching and learning. With their classroom rendered unusable, KG pupils have been relocated to the staff common room. When the Channel 1 news team visited the school, young men were seen clearing fallen trees that had damaged part of the building. Frustrated parents voiced their concerns, explaining how their children being out of school is affecting their daily routines. They called on city authorities to step in and restore the school.
From Abona, it is a dreamy ebu kum. Yet, ya buy no. Suruni na eji. Just any man say school dino ye. Nkonye bubu ebi ato we no so na ekoye te say anopanka anka nyakura anka amanfo mabe wuwu na nso nyame ancha ade ankoba na nopa etwe mankra no kofie ansa na start nkra no tifie se so munsuya ade
su ache nti nkroda wo mu bebre nti ye pa bancho no buaye yentumi je omu kwa ejuma ye ni omu na etifie nti ye pa bancho rombe buaye na nkoda no start omu be ye bibi omu bosu kakra po na nkoda no etumi start kakra yesu ye benya kwan akopes kakra befie
nani ntem mehwe mufra no titifie wonya hwe sese wo fie keke ti yesre won na bibia nkoso nwanu maye ntem wonhwe maboso maye na enya mufra no sunya won asomhwe won ku school maye.
Meanwhile, concerns have emerged about the structural integrity of newly constructed school buildings. The use of substandard materials have raised questions about the ability to withstand future storms. The Assembly member for the Sappeman electoral area acknowledged that the affected school block was built using community effort and internally generated funds. He admitted that financial constraints have delayed effort to construct a more resilient structure.
The building was put up by the school in collaboration with the community. So it's an internally generated fund project. So if you look closely at the building, we, instead of using iron rods, because of lack of funds, we were forced to use pipes to pick up or raise the structure. And when you look at the blocks itself, the structure has not even been plastered. That's to show you that due to lack of funds, we are unable to put up an edifice that is fitting for our kindergarten students.
He further outlined ongoing measures to secure funding for major repairs, stressing the urgency of the situation.
Where they are is woefully uncomfortable. The teachers are not able to use the materials to give them the quality education we need. So we are appealing to the authorities that be. The government should quickly turn a good eye and look at us. And if possible, we are appealing for a new structure. But if we don't get the new structure, we can still get a more reinforced structure so that our kindergarten children don't have any untoward situation in the future.
I hear the kids have been allocated to the staff common room for now, but I've asked the assembly member to get some masons and carpenters to get us an estimate so that latest by Monday we can get something to start working on the building. So hopefully by end of month latest we are sure to have a roof back on that building for the kids to have a place to study.
This is what is left after strong winds on Monday evening at Opa MA Basic School 1. The storm blew off the roof, leaving students and teachers without classrooms. Parents and residents are asking authorities for help. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Elizabeth Kabuki Okanse.
Right, so that was a report filed by our colleague Elizabeth Kabuki Okanse on the plight of the students in Opa Basic School 1. Nana and Philip, I don't know what you guys think about this, but very soon we'll be going onto the phone lines to speak to the assembly member, if we have him, and possibly the member of parliament for the area.
We had a similar situation from St. Joseph RC Basic School, and the children were in a dilapidated makeshift structure after a same collapse of a 6-classroom building they were putting up, and just part of it fell off or collapsed. Now the authorities didn't move there, and the situation has been like that for a very long time. We understand that it's a school that is in the heart of Tamale. I'm making reference, then we come to this one. It's in the heart of Tamale. Now, we're trickling down to this school. It's in the heart of Amasaman.
Right.
And if you are looking at it from constituency-wise, it's Amasaman constituency. Municipality-wise, it's Gan West municipality. When you are moving from Isawam, from the eastern region, from Kumasi to Accra, the very first community you meet, which is in Accra, is Amasaman.
Okay.
And this situation, we understand, happened some 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And as we speak now, it's still the same. But we have the assembly member for the Sapperman electoral area on our lines as at now. We would engage him. Elom Avemega. Hello, Honorable. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
I trust you are doing well.
By the grace of God.
How are the people of Sapperman doing?
The people of Sapperman, by the grace of God, we are all doing very well.
I don't think they are doing so well with the issue of the Opa Basic School. What is the situation currently with the Opa Basic School?
Yeah, rightly so. With our school at Opa, we are actually not doing well. You know, a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, we had a rainstorm that took our roof of our kindergarten block at the Opa school. It ripped it off and broke down some of our trees. And as I speak to you now, we have been able to cut down the trees and clear the broken down trees. But unfortunately, our KG block is still left unattended to.
Wow. So if the KG block is left unattended to, and we know that the rains are still falling or they are still in, what is the alternative for these children?
Yes, so as I speak to you, yesterday I met with the coordinating director and the engineer at the municipal assembly, and I reminded them about the plight of our DKG students and what can be done. Apparently, the structure was a community project, and so per the assessment of the municipal engineer, it is not strong enough for roofing to go on it. So currently, as I speak to you, our KG students are perching in the staff common room of the teachers, where everything is kept there. That same place is used as a storage for broken down desks, all kinds of metals that are worn out, they are all kept there. And that is what for me has become my fear.
Honorable, thank you for your time. If you met with the coordinating director or the municipal engineer and he says the building is not strong enough for roofing, what plans does he have to restore the building and of course have the KG students back in their own classroom instead of sharing the staff common room?
Yes, so what we agreed was that we are going to look into the mid-year review budget. When it's mid-year, we'll review the budget and then we can fix this project into it.
But, Honorable, in the interim, since you're going to be looking at the mid-year review budget, in the interim, what are the plans for the students? Are they still going to be sharing the staff common room until the budget is reviewed?
Yes, for now, that is the unfortunate thing that we have to do interim. But the other time also there is another project, PTA in the school, that also has some structural defects. However, that one is a bit better than the one that we currently are speaking about. So I still engaged the engineer and he brought some of his officers to assess it. And what they told me was that we can roof that one and then our KG students can start using that one. So as it stands now, I have started engaging some companies to plead for assistance. If we can get roofing for that, it's a 3-unit block. If we are able to roof it, then we can move our KG students down there. I'm very happy. I'm looking at the videos now. As it stands now, our KG students don't have learning materials because of where they find themselves, and that is very unfortunate because at that stage they use a lot of the teaching and learning materials to learn, and so not having it in the staff common room makes their learning a little bit challenging for us.
But Honorable, you mentioned that the alternative structure has structural defects. Is that not going to endanger the lives of these little ones, looking at the fact that you want to move them inside in the interim? Why won't you rather just find help to fix it or make it good so that when they are inside, you are all at peace?
Yes, so that one was supposed to be a story building, a 6-unit, 3 down, 3 up. So the structural defect came when the structure was flowed at the first floor. That is where we had the structural defect at the top. So the engineers advised that we could take off the iron rod at the top and then we roof it.
But how many children are we talking of here when it comes to the KG class? How many children are we talking of?
We are talking close to 40 children because it's the KG1 and the KG2 put together.
Has this happened before, or this is the first time such an incident is happening in the school?
This is the first time. OPA it's a very old school, and we have had challenges with infrastructure for our students. And so you would realize that most of the time it is the community that would come together and do something. But as I speak now, we are even running shifts in the primary school. So that will tell you the difficulty we have with infrastructure in that school. Meanwhile, that school has produced a lot of very brilliant students who have gone far and made it to the very good senior high schools in our country.
So you said, is it a basic school? It starts from, say, crèche to JHS?
It actually starts from kindergarten to JHS, and there are 2 schools. But because of the numbers, we are forced to run at the primary section, which is a little bit challenging for us.
From what you said you've been engaging. We understand. Have we gotten, or have you seen any of the authorities, say the district's education director or from the municipality, come to see the situation for themselves at the school?
Yes, the education director came to have a look at the problem we have there, and so he invited me and I went over to his office. We met, we deliberated, we looked at suggestive ways by which we can curb the situation. It was part of the reason why I went back to the assembly to plead for an intervention to quickly come. Unfortunately, the information, the engineer said there are no pillars in the that were used. They only used pipes to construct the structure, and so it will be very difficult for the assembly to come in and roof it when they know that there is a big problem with the structure, the whole entire structure.
Does it, I mean, from what you're saying, it suggests to me that means eventually this structure would have to be pulled down so that a proper one is raised again.
Exactly so. But my challenge has to do with the time, because these are very little ones that can easily get demotivated if they don't get a very good place to have their studies, and they don't get a place of their own when there are counter movements here and there in their classroom. They get quickly
distracted.
swayed away in thought. So that is where my challenge is. That in the interim, if government can come in to assist us, especially for the fact that it is our kindergarten children,
Yeah.
it will be very good for the community and the entire electoral area.
And I totally agree with you. I mean, we know that the learning atmosphere for kids at kindergarten would not be the same, even for those in nursery and in the primary level. But you mentioned that this is a community project, this particular structure. Have you had any community engagements ever since the incident happened?
Yes, when the incident happened, the chief of the community, Neo Pao Pansro, the first, has been there with his elders. We have spoken, we have looked at it. He actually supported by giving us the machine that cut down the trees that fell, and we have engaged further. But as it stands now, it all comes down to looking at an entirely new structure. And in that vein, the weight of the community is not able to currently push up a new structure. And that is why we will so fall on government. We will so plead with government that we should come and look at OPA and see how best things can unfold. Apparently, I've also, and the member of parliament has also been here to look at the situation, and he also made his inputs and suggestions. And so we are still discussing and looking at the best way that we can still help. And so I've spoken to him that an entirely new structure will help us. So I pleaded that if he goes to parliament, he should push. If there is a possibility of getting some emergency funds for this project, it would suffice.
Honorable, while we wait for government to come and help salvage the situation, we know how these things can take, or the processes these things can go through to acquire funds for such projects. Has there been any engagement with private organizations or partners, or even the Parent-Teacher Association of the school, to come up with some funds to at least start the project?
Yes, I have engaged the